Hi, I'm Alex Bufalino. Very nice to meet you here over video, and thanks for taking time to look at this video. I'm 28 years in IoT actually, and I've been working with most of the players in this industry, whether it's module players or connectivity suppliers. I started with Cavli Wireless the 1st of January 26, and I'm very excited to be with this company. Actually being the CMO and the VP of Cloud.
Hi, I'm Ramzi Alharayeri. I'm the head of sales and business development for the Americas with Cavli. I have been in the industry for over 20 years. I am very blessed to have the experience of working through the entire ecosystem of the IoT industry, from silicon to edge to connectivity, all the way to the cloud. I have made a lot of friends and gained a lot of experience through that journey. And I'm really excited about being able to put this experience to work with Cavli Wireless.
So actually, I think that's a good question because Cavli, from my opinion, I've been observing the company for quite some years now, is an established company already. It's got 300 customers in the world, OEM customers. And if you look at these three factors, the company in itself, it's located in the US and it's got operations in the US. It's actually present with operations in Europe. It manufactures in India, has got strong R&D in India and strong R&D in Vietnam. So it's a truly global player and is a Western IoT supplier, which is very much needed today in the space.
That's good.
So there were a lot of experiences those first days I had. And what I'm particularly excited about is that this company is enjoying 2x growth. It's made of young, hungry people that really want to build a smarter world and do solutions which help the clients. So there's an absolute focus on clients in this company. And that's why I think it's an established player. It's a challenger in the industry. And therefore, it's an established company that has a bright future in front of. And that's why I'm happy to be here and to contribute to this bright future and to the growth ahead for the entire team. There's also great plans to extend and bring talent on board during these next months and years. So you will hear about Cavli very much in the nearby future. What also excites me that it is a company that does not only offer IoT modules, but it offers IoT modules, it offers connectivity, and it offers a management platform, very advanced one, to be able to manage the connectivity and the devices in the field from remote.
I 100% agree. I think you have a very good point. Cavli is an agile organization and have been an industry disruptor, honestly. They came to the market 6-7 years ago and been able to now become a leader in some of the LTE connectivities like Cat 1 bis. But not just the fact that they established themselves and proven themselves in the LTE. What I'm very excited about is actually the future. Now with the industry pushing devices, certifications from LTE to 5G requirements, yes. Cavli is positioned perfectly to be the disruptor in this industry because they have the widest and most robust 5G roadmap in the market today. Products are ready that can service technologies all the way from industrial applications to CPEs, to robotics, to gateways, all the way to automotive, which is very important, I think. So they are positioned not just to, they're not just an LTE player, but they are positioned to be a leader in the 5G industry.
And I totally agree. And it's a boutique IoT supplier because it's 100% focused on the success of IoT, of the clients, and is not going left and right by doing IoT solutions or anything else our clients don't need at this point in time. So actually, that's an interesting question. In my specific case, it was 20 years ago when I wanted to join Siemens in Munich. And this was the time when Siemens was a great player in mobile phones. So obviously, I was interested to join the mobile phones department. But that day, Siemens called me. They told me about a little department consisting just of 4 people that would have a modem product, and this modem product could send data from any kind of devices or to humans. So that was the time when the idea of M2M, as it was called at the time, was born. And I must admit that in the beginning, I was a little bit puzzled about this market. I couldn't 100% understand what that was about. But then we were courageous. We had Siemens business cards and we ran around. We chosen different industries, the handheld industry, different telemetry applications, which we were chasing. And actually, we found the first project, which was a car washing machine manufacturer that wanted to send SMSs when the car washing machine wasn't working to their personnel. And here I was in the middle of M2M. That was, as I said, 28 years ago. And if I look back from a today's perspective, it's just amazing how this market grew. Major steps in my career were when I was appointed to build the IoT business for Siemens in Italy. And we had the opportunity to actually pitch for a project that was the first metering project worldwide, I must say, with 600,000 connections. And just a couple of days ago, Ramzi, we were speaking about this project. It was a 2G project, 600,000 the quantity, and we sold over 60 euros every of these modules, which you can easily imagine when you are in that space, which kind of times this were. So it's an exciting market for me. It's never stopping. It evolves all the time. And I enjoy being here now at Cavli to shape the next wave of innovations.
I think a lot of the people that is in this industry started from connectivity. Connectivity has been the driver, like you said, Alex, in this. Of course, some of us came from the MCU background or other components in the edge like sensors, but connectivity was the biggest driver. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the early IoT deployment was on short-range connectivity. If you agree with me.
That's correct.
The Wi-Fi was the dominant, and then when cellular came as, let me get you out of the house, or let me get you out of the private network and get you to cellular connectivity, that was an innovation in itself. And like I said, that connectivity, and I was able to, like I said, I was lucky to be able to work in the entire ecosystem. So seeing it go from the edge and the components of the edge through the connectivity, getting to the cloud, that was just like an eye-opening experience. And since I was able to build probably the first ecosystem for IoT in the industry back in 2014, I've been very, very addicted to the entire industry ecosystem, and that's what keeps me going back to IoT. It keeps me excited, and I don't want to go somewhere else.
What keeps me also excited is that IoT is not a technology. IoT is a trend enabled by technology. So we need to think about this. That's why it never stops. Because as technology evolves, the trend becomes more ubiquitous. There will be more use cases. So it's never boring. So I would say that the market remains for decades ahead an experimental market, because if we think about all the use cases which we see today, but the future use cases we will be seeing. And the major shifts in this market were always technology driven. So I remember when 2G consumer technology was available, there were certain boundaries in terms of which kind of use cases could be realized. Then 3G kicked in, the bandwidth became a little bit bigger, and because of that, new use cases were becoming a reality. Then 4G kicked in, which is still out there today, and with 4G, new possibilities came in. But what we also need to see with 5G, which is now available as a technology, there was the launch of dedicated IoT technology for the very first time. So we speak about narrowband, we speak about LTE-M, we speak about Cat1 bis, we speak about 5G RedCap. All of technologies Cavli is covering. So as technology evolves, think about 6G, we will be seeing more use cases, and that's why it's going to be an ongoing experimental market, because as technology allows, there will be more use cases possible. Think about autonomous driving, which is now here. Think about robotics. This is use cases that were not to think about years ago, but today you can think about it and you can actually realize real world solutions. And this is what's so amazing about this market, that as technology will continuously evolve, we will be going towards a more and more connected and smarter world.
Yeah, I think the major shift I see right now in the market is coming from two areas. The connectivity, like you said, the 5G rollout, or if you may say now the carriers are not certifying any more devices on LTE, or if they do, they make it very, very, very difficult and very limited criteria. So everybody now has to shift to 5G. That's a major shift in the industry. The other thing is when it comes to the connectivity, the eSIM, the rollouts of eSIMs and iSIMs in the future are going to be disruptive. It's going to be a shift. Now, of course, we're seeing some pushback from the carriers for sure, because that interrupts their business model. But I think that's another shift that is coming. So while it is mature industry, the IoT in general, the fundamentals are there. There's a lot of things, like you said, that are still experimental. I think the most challenging thing is going to be in the coming couple of years is actual intelligent data deployment from the device. With the AI and implementations, how do I distract and deploy intelligent data? Not just data, but intelligent data. So we are seeing a lot of push on edge AI. How do I process this data on the device itself? So yeah, it is mature in some sense, and it's experimental in other areas.
So obviously there is a lot of factors which ensure the success of clients, but let's talk very quickly about what's the purpose of an IoT module company. There is an unprecedented pace of chipsets that are launched by the chipset suppliers. And a module is a product that is first of all abstracting away the complexity which the usage of such a chipset is bringing. And second is making sure that such kind of technology our clients choose one day is available for years to come, even if the launch of new chipsets is ongoing, and that if the clients after 2 to 5 years want to migrate to a new technology, there is pin-to-pin compatibility, there is software compatibility on the new chipset generation, on the new module generation. So it's very important that the solutions Cavli bring to their clients are scalable in time and are scalable technology-wise. Other factors is obviously trust, and what is trust in that business built upon? It's built upon sustainability. It's built upon the company in itself that evolves with the latest technologies over time. and it's built on technical support. Support is the most important factor. So holding the hand of the client, consulting with the client from day one, which technology to choose for the longevity of the solution, which technology to choose for the vertical the client is in. And last but not least, it's the local presence in the countries our clients are spread, because the hand-holding is not just the virtual hand-holding, is also on-site hand-holding from the beginning of the deployment, the first consultancy hours, to after-sales support. So I think if we talk in terms of marriage, it's about trust, it's about longevity, and it's about sharing the latest technologies and enabling our clients on an ongoing basis so that they can go with the pace of time, but they don't fear obstacles like, oh, 2G is sunsetting, 4G is sunsetting, what do I do next? You have to be a true partner all the journey long, all the lifetime of the product to your clients. And Cavli is perfectly positioned to be that consultant, that partner from day one to after sales situation as well.
I think you're absolutely right about the longevity. I think trust is built prior to deployment, not after deployment. In the beginning, the customer is looking for the fundamentals in regards to the technology, and Cavli is clearly built its entire portfolio based on Qualcomm chipsets, which is a very trusted technology and very robust, and provides the longevity the customer is looking for. So, and then the step that Cavli took more than or beyond that, the step that Cavli took beyond that is providing the tools to manage that connectivity and that technology. So being able to have remote diagnosis, being able to predict, being able to update your device remotely. All of these tools create longevity for the product and builds the trust with the customer. Being able to provide a roadmap that replaces this technology in case it becomes obsolete or you need to upgrade your product. Being able to look at the entire ecosystem and trust the entire ecosystem, from the technology, the underlying technology like Qualcomm, like I said, or the device performance and the tools that supports it, the connectivity that we offer, all the way to the cloud where you can manage your device deployments at a scale. That's how the trust is built. Trust is not an option, it's a business model. I think Cavli's value proposition is that it's not just a vendor, it's a platform partner. So starting by providing, like I said, a very robust Qualcomm-based technologies, providing the tools, providing the connectivity. And part of the connectivity, by the way, is like I said, the transformation of the industry by going from the standard SIM into eSIM and iSIM. Cavli can provide that technology and service, and allowing, just to give you an example, a simplified one SKU globally that eliminates the burden of roaming and being able to provision on different networks and how you can manage it on the cloud. So I see Cavli right now is not a vendor in the eyes of the customer, but it's more of a platform partner.
And I think that Cavli is providing hardware and is providing connectivity and is providing a connectivity and device management platform. And the prior questions we've been discussing about the difficulties clients might have to actually develop a solution that is scalable and that works over time. And Cavli is in a way, one-stop shop partner to our clients, because we've been observing that there is a development of a hardware device, but then finding the right connectivity option, finding the right SIM technology. As Ramji just said, Cavli modules can embed eSIM, which is a true advantage. And this eSIM can be pre-activated during production. So when the device comes to market, just simple AT commands enable the device, power it up, and connect it to the networks, from local deployments to regional deployments to global deployments. That's all possible. So these two steps, merging the hardware with the connectivity, already managed by Cavli and its platform. So this is definitely an advantage to all of our clients, because they don't have to take care about choosing the right partner, making sure those technologies work with each other. That's all done by Cavli. So I visited CES this year in Las Vegas, and you could simply see a couple of trends in IoT. The first trend is certainly robotics. We can imagine that our world in the future is going to be full of robotic solutions. And if you think about such a robot, it needs bandwidth, it needs control. So IoT is in the middle of it. We will see robotics growing quite a lot. What I do also observe and like, by the way, personally, is telehealth. There is a lot of companies nowadays that use IoT technology to predict the health conditions of people, and actually through this prediction prevent any kind of disease. So that's a very cool trend. And what I also do particularly like is agriculture. I always use that example. When you measure the soil in your fields, you can actually save up to 25% water, and you can get 15% more product. Also a trend which we are observing is autonomous driving. We already see the first cars on the streets with autonomous driving capabilities. So that's also going to be a trend. And for a lot of these more complex use cases and applications, Cavli smart modules, which are very powerful engines with a lot of computing power on board and memory on board, are ideal to develop these new use cases combined with 5G.
Now we're starting to roll 5G in just about every IoT device. That's a given. What's the advantage of 5G? Low latency and high bandwidth. So all of the applications that require low latency, like manufacturing, like health, which you pointed to, like automotive, all the stuff that is going to take advantage out of 5G, low latency and speed, and industrial is a big market segment that is going to be taking advantage out of that. I think are the ones that will be flourishing. The standard LTE technology-based IoT deployments will continue to, of course, improve. But I think there are particular segments that have been waiting for that low latency technology to flourish, and their time's coming up.
So there's been said a lot about leadership philosophy. I personally believe that a leader needs to be a good teacher. So if a leader leads a team, the team needs to continuously be able to learn from the teacher. And then secondly, I believe in the power of the swarm. So if a team is perceived to be a swarm, if everybody is in the right position, like in the human body, we have all of these different organs in us, and if they perfectly work with each other, the output is phenomenal. And that's my leadership philosophy. Enable the team members, understand which team members are good in which discipline, and position them in the right space so that they are happy to work. And then last but not least, being a consultant, being a teacher, and making sure the team works efficiently. The output of the team is as good as it can be. It evolves over time. Everybody gets better and better. And the leader is actually there to enable all of this team growth and team output.
So building a team that is scalable, clear in communication, and able to predict, is something that I think will drive a successful organization. And it lines up with the Cavli platform way of design. I mean, we build a platform that is clear, scalable, and works with all our partners. So we're in alignment with the Cavli vision of building a platform.